Peace and blessings, everyone. It's your favorite truth seeker and truth teller, Brother Wise Champion, back for another one. As I expressed in the past, this page was initially set up to talk about or discuss men's mental health. But as I, started digging deeper and deeper with what I wanted to discuss, it evolved into much more. And tonight, I want to kind of do a second follow-up video to the video I did yesterday. About Black people vetting who it is that we allow to come amongst us. Because as I sat down and thought about it, I felt that I left a lot of things out, that should have been discussed. It's been so easy to pander to Black people because we look at everything like a popularity contest and not collect the evidence for it, what it is. And this is not a political discussion, but I'm going to give you some insight on what caused me to switch sides from what Black people normally do when it came to voting to doing something different, because I noticed some things that were just way out of pocket. People could just start doing any little thing and we'll invite them to the cookout. Someone will do a dance. Oh yeah, you would come to the cookout. You're invited. Or they could pull out a bottle of hot sauce. Oh yeah, she's down. Yeah, she got out of. She's cool with us. Or they could say they cooked some collard greens in the tub. Oh yeah. And we don't know anything about what these people are doing. We just did that off of emotions. And that's how every single one of our organizations have been infiltrated, going all the way back to the advent of colonialism. They offered us some trinkets, some things that we thought looked nice, which really didn't have any value. And from there, we allowed them to come amongst us. And within 20, 30 years, we're conquered. We haven't learned that lesson yet. And it's something that we need to really, really start doing. Maybe the first thing that we should do, the most important thing, outside of what we should be doing with our children and our families. We need to be very, very careful we allow amongst us because this is a dog eat dog world. That's the way capitalism is set up. It's every man for himself to the top. And that's the microcosm of the macrocosm. But the macrocosm of the microcosm is as a collective. Each people have been set up in their own positions. And we have to stop worrying about what other people's positions are and how well they're doing and applying ourselves with that. No one is about multiculturalism but Black people. And that's crafty wording that was set up to steal the civil rights movement from Black people. As I know this is buzzwords, and I know that, people get really upset when you mention his name, but Trump, when he was saying that these things were specific for descendants of slaves, that's what it really was meant for. But now all of a sudden, everybody else could come and make a claim off of what we created. Dr. Claude Anderson eloquently spoke about these things in his books, Black Labor, White Wealth, and Powernomics. How these things, the civil rights movements, were meant for us because, gay people weren't hung from trees. Gay people weren't stripped of their names and nationality or any other group of people. People come from South America. Now, the problems that they had were in their country. They didn't seek reparations from their country. They shouldn't be coming here to America, reaping the benefits that we should get. But we're allowing everyone else to piggyback off of us. So now when these same people come in, they're not including us when they get what it is they deserve or whatever it is they fought for. Nobody includes us. And I understand that, we want to be the beacon and we want to be, the people that set the standard and make the change in the world that we want to see, but we shouldn't do it at the expense of our own health and well-being. And I mean financial and economic. Because what's happening is we're being bled dry. And we're being put in a position that we're going to be made a permanent underclass. And when I say we need to vet people, we don't even need to just vet people. We need to vet the things that we allow not only our children to partake in and absorb in, but we need to vet the things that we as the adults partake in and absorb in. You know, like I spoke before, that debate going on between India Ari and the girl Young Miami. And, you know, when I was a kid, the groups that was really making music that was kind of vulgar were NWA and Slick Rick had an album. I listened to their music, don't get it twisted. But you know what I did? When my father came home, or I knew my dad was coming home, I would hide those tapes in the garage because I didn't want him to know that I was listening to that type of music. Because I knew what his response would be, and he was going to break them and throw them in the trash. I know my dad. That's what he was going to do. The problem is now, this generation coming up, the parents are listening to this stuff with the children. There is no filter. Like, why are we doing this? What happened to shame? When I mean shame, I don't mean shame with others. I'm talking about the shame that you may have for things that you know you don't want to do, that you don't want everybody else to see you doing. You don't want to see everybody else to see you in the bathroom, do you using the bathroom? So why would you want everybody else to see you doing sexual things? And it saddens me. I love the way women look just as much as the next man. I absolutely love it. But the things that I see that are taking place on social media, you know, with these women just completely debasing themselves for likes. You know, we need to vet the activities we do. We need to vet, you know, the things that we partake in every day. Is this thing that we're doing, is it conducive to living a positive lifestyle or where I want to be in the future? Or is it going to sow destruction amongst me, my family, and my people? And the things that a lot of us are doing, I'm not going to say, you know, I can only go by what I see on media because I'm not out and about like that. I'm disabled now, so I don't move around too much anymore. So I'm not out and about around the people that much. But what I know, what I'm seeing on social media especially, none of it looks good. And the things that we are doing that's good, it gets very little coverage. You know, it's a thing nowadays. It's been a thing for a while for black people to call each other niggas and bitches. And that's exactly what we become. We become niggas and bitches. And I don't like it, especially when I hear females. And I don't like it when black men call each other niggas. But I especially hate it when I hear females call each other bitches. You know, when I was coming up, you called a woman a bitch. That was grounds for her to smack you in the face and for her to get your brother to come and whoop your ass. Now, all of a sudden, it's a term of endearment. But with that comes bitch behavior. Now, if I'm looking for a mate, and she considers herself to be a bitch, why would I want to be around that? Why would I want to come home after working there all day or being out in the world and having to deal with how the world is to come home to a woman that's bitching? Why would a woman want to come home to a male that is niggering? That's niggified. Why would I want that? Or why would a woman want that? You know, we have to be careful of the labels that we give ourselves. We have to vet these things, understand that words have meanings. And we can sit down and say, okay, this word has a meaning, but I'm changing it to something else because this is what I want to mean. You can do that all you want to, but that's not the foundation of that word. The foundation of that word, those words are degradation against women and degradation against black people. And it needs to stop. We need to start doing a lot of inner work and a lot of inner thinking. And we need to be careful about the people that we allow around us, because a lot of them do not mean us no good. People need to qualify themselves to be around us. They need to qualify themselves. Because I'm going to tell you like this. These other people are damn sure going to make sure they qualify us to be around them. They not going to allow us in their household. They're not allow us at their cookouts. They're not going to do none of those things unless they know who we are and what it is that we're about, lest we poison them and their children. Why do we so easily let others poison us and our children? We got to do better. We are at critical mass. And my like I said, my page is not always going to be exclusively about black issues, but to me, black issues is the number one thing that I'm watching my people suffer. So I'm going to make a lot of videos about that. We have to do better. We have to think better about ourselves. We have to take time to deal with our children, talk to our children, find out what's going on inside their heads, find out what they're doing on a daily basis. Don't let them sit inside on social media all day playing on electronics. But that's another video. And I believe that there for now. And like I said before, if you found any value in this video, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to continue to do these videos. I'm going to continue to put this message out there, because we need to start invoking more thought in our everyday lives and day-to-day operations, not just as black people, but as people in general. And the world is really waiting for us to wake up from our slumber and, take our rightful place amongst human families. And from that, I say peace, love, and happiness. Until the next one, it's your brother Wise Chant. Peace.